afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? I am here live in Fruits Bar, and I'm a minute late. I apologize for that if everyone's here on time, but I am Chef Pearson here at Rythmia, and this is my third live in a series of lives here from Rythmia in Costa Rica, in sunny Costa Rica. We've been blessed with a beautiful week. Again, so we're out here in Fruits, which is our little juice bar that we have set up outside Roots Restaurant, which is our high-frequency meal buffet restaurant here at Rythmia. And today I'm going to be showing you some really easy breakfast hacks. We are, really easy way to start your day off on the right foot and with high vibrant foods is by making sure you start your day with really powerful breakfast. So joining me today, you can see the shoulder of my friend Kenneth here. Kenneth, give a little wave. He's going to be giving me some assistance from behind the scenes. He's a little bit camera shy. He is my amazing food and beverage manager here, and my behind the scenes magician. Here he is, Kenneth. He's amazing. And I have my lovely friend Candace here as well, and she's just returned here to Rythmia after a little time away, and she helps us with a million things here, just helping make sure that everything runs smoothly for all of our guests. So this is going to be our intimate little group, and then we have the restaurant behind the camera that you can't see where everyone's enjoying lunch right now. And so I'm super stoked for everyone that's here. And if you're wondering, I'm just rambling on because I just want to see how many people can join on with us. I do want to say that if you have any questions while we're going through this little lesson today, feel free to type them here in the messages. And if there's anything of really great importance and timeliness, Kenneth is going to be moderating. He didn't know that I'm telling him that right now. So you're going to keep an eye on those comments. And if there's anything super, immediate that we can answer, just let me know. Just say, hey, wait, we got a question. If not, I'm going to answer all of your questions and comments after the live, hopefully later today. If not, I'll do it the next day or two, because I definitely want to make sure that I state that we're in contact and keeping our conversation open about all things intuitarian. So if you watched any of my past videos, you'll know that intuitarianism is what is the type of eating, the way of life that I like. Oh, there we're back. Did you hear me? Anyone when we were paused there? Anyways, if you can hear me talking when the video was paused, that's kind of embarrassing. But say la vie, it's kind of like live TV. If you watched last week, you saw a lot of snafus happening. So we're just gonna roll with it. Like I was saying, if you haven't, I was talking about intuitarianism, and I used to be, fully raw vegan, and that was my passion for a long time. So a lot of the recipes we're going to touch on today are of that nature. But really, the reason why I'm going to be discussing them is because they're really easy. And that's really the most important thing when you're adopting, a little bit more high vibrant food into your world. You just want to make it really easy. So I did a segment on TV once, and I did these recipes, and we called it "Start Your Day the Raw Food Way." So we're going to get into that right now. And the first thing we're going to do is nut milk. And I can make so many jokes when I do these nut milk segments about nut milk, nut sacks, and soak your nuts, and all of that stuff. I mean, I know, I digress. We're going to make some nut milk now. And I think we promoted this as nut milk two ways, but I'm only going to do it one way, but we're going to do a combination of nuts. So if anyone has questions why we're doing nut milk, I have a couple of reasons. It's a really great alternative to regular dairy if you want to try something new. Not to say that regular dairy, I have a problem with that. We use goat milk here in our coffees, and we have lots of goat milk products that we use for various different things like our yogurt and our cheeses, and I have absolutely no problem with that. I have no problem with cow milk. I want everyone to just do what makes them feel good. But I think if you incorporate some more nuts into your world, especially in things like your smoothies where you're going to be doing a lot of ingredient combining, this is a really great option to have. So today we're going to make from scratch a cashew almond milk. What do you think about that? Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I've got here is about a cup, a little bit more than a cup because I didn't measure, but this is about a cup of nuts that I've soaked overnight. And it's a combination of cashews and almonds that I've just been soaking for a couple of reasons. The main reason being is it's going to just make them softer so that they blend more easily. I'm just going to give it a rustic sieve here with my hands, the best tools in the world. And then I'm going to dump these into my blender. So I've soaked them so they're soften them up a little bit. And there's many different schools of thought as to why else we soak our nuts. One of those ideas that I've come across throughout many of my years of study and working with other raw vegan chefs is an idea that there's a coating on the outside of a lot of nuts that can cause problems with digestion. So people have trouble digesting raw nuts. I hear that quite often from clients. And sometimes the idea is that if we soak them, that's going to eliminate enzyme inhibitors, which is a natural coating. So that's another good reason to soak your nuts. A third reason is nuts are a great natural plant-based source of protein, and when we soak them, it's essentially the raw nuts. We are starting them into the germination process. Because what is the goal of this almond in life? It wants to become a tree. So you need to add certain things for it to become a tree. One of them being water, one of them being sunlight and oxygen and soil. So we're giving it one of those components, the water here. So it's starting to think, hey, I can become a tree. Oh, hi, we're back. Welcome back from that brief commercial break. So I was talking about the nuts and the germination process. So long story short, as these nuts start to germinate, the proteins within that nut start to break down into essential amino acids. And that's what we actually need to build protein in our bodies, amino acids. And there's Kenneth's head again. Amazing. We're so new to this Facebook Live thing. I love it. So this is another reason why we're soaking our nuts. So I'm going to move on from that. So we've got about our cup of nuts here, and I'm using this in my high-powered blender. You can use any blender that you have at home. Food processor, not going to work, but any type of blender you have, doesn't matter the strength. Just make sure you soak your nuts if you're not using really strong ones so you don't damage the motor. So the next ingredients I'm going to add are optional. I like to do this when I know I'm going to be using this milk for something sweet, like a smoothie or in my coffee in the morning or whatnot. And I'm going to add a date. This is just a big old pitted medjool date that I bought, and this is going to be my sweetener. Instead of adding something like, you could add a stevia, you could add agave, if that's your thing, you could add maple syrup, you could add honey, whatever you want to do for the sweetener, but I like to add a date. I like to use whole food sweeteners as much as possible. Then we get the fiber and all the minerals and all of that other good stuff. So I'm going to plunk that date in there. If you're going to use this milk for a savory component, like if you wanted to make this as a non-dairy cream base for, say, a broccoli soup or something, I would omit the sweetness, I would omit the date, and I would just add a pinch of salt, maybe a dash of tamari or something like that to give it a more savory taste. But for these purposes today, I want to use it at the date. I'm also going to add a little bit of vanilla, and this is just a nice organic vanilla extract, and that's just going to give a little extra flavor, and then a little pinch of salt. Like I said in my last video, pinch of salt brings out the flavor in everything, so we like to add that. So the next thing we need is water. So for about a 1 cup ratio of nuts, I like to add, for my own personal taste, if I'm going to use cream for coffee, for example, I use about 2 to 1. So I would use 2 parts water and 1 part nuts. It gives it a nice creamier texture. If you're using other things like for on your cereal or just to drink, maybe you can do up to 3 cups of water or 3.5 to 1 cup part nuts. It's really up to you. You can test that ratio out and see what works for you. So I'm going to pour in here about 2 cups of water. And the other nice thing about making your own nut milks is the nuts are interchangeable. I like to do cashew, number 1, I do at home all the time. Mainly because cashews are such a soft nut that I don't even strain them at home. What you're going to see is we made it the 3rd step in the process. Things like almond, what's that? Macadamia, super good. Another nut that's a little bit expensive for me where I live right now, but macadamia is super good. Brazil nut's really good. And one of the few sources of selenium in our diet, so a really great idea. But cashew is really good. Almond is pretty traditional. Pecan is really good. You could do like a hazelnut almond combo and add in some cacao, and it'd be like chocolate and milk with like that famous Italian chocolate spread with hazelnut that's actually doesn't have any milk in it. That's mostly just sugar, but it's delicious. So I put in my water, and as you can see, it looks like a murky mess. But the magic of the blender is going to turn this into a wonderful. It's magic, guys. It's magic. It's going to turn it into a beautiful milk. So here we go. It's going to get loud, and I've tested my blender for this week. I'm fine. In the perfect world, I would go a little bit longer than that. Because what I really want to do is I want to extract as much of the nutrition and fat and awesomeness from the nuts into the liquids. You know, what we have left is a really nutritious and delicious milk at the end of the day. So step number 3. Hi, Marley.
Hi.
Marley has just joined us. Come say hi to our viewers.
Oh, I'm so
If you've been a guest at Rythmia, you know Marley. She's hanging out, saying hello.
Hi.
Want to do some taste testing while you're here?
I'm always down.
Well, you can have a seat at the stool if you want. You can come and go what you want. This is an open forum.
I'll stay for a moment.
Okay, wonderful. Nice to have you, Marley. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. behind the screen.
Yes, you are. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is strain. And I have right here with me a nut milk bag. When I first started doing this years ago, these were hard to find. I had to scope them out from this one raw food restaurant in Toronto. Now you can buy them readily available on Amazon for like $3 a piece or less. So you can see that it's a synthetic fabric and it's a super, super fine mesh. And this is what I like to use for my nut milks, as well as if I'm making the juice in my blender like we talked about last week. This would be a great thing to do to eliminate the bulk from the juice. The tip that I'm gonna, what's that?
You could also use stockings.
You could use stockings.
Use stocking style. Like you can like literally cut the foot off, and then you've got a brilliant milk.
There we go.
You get a ladder.
There you go. Clean stockings at that. Like, don't be reusing ones that you wore.
Wash them first.
Or there's also at grocery stores, quite often they have these new produce bags that are mesh that you can buy super cheap, like in bulk. My mom has them at home. That would work, as well as just cheesecloth if you're in a pinch, just a couple layers of cheesecloth. But the tip that I want to tell you is, if you're buying the bags, they have a seam on the inside. Well, it's on the inside now. I turned it inside out because if I have that seam on the inside, I'm going to be picking out crumbs of pulp, which is a big pain. So I turn my bag outside in and inside out, so that the seam is on the outside. And then I'm going to plunk it in. Did you get that? Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I'm going to plunk it back into my pitcher that I use for my water, and I'm just going to pour my milk. Forgive me, all you viewers, if you've made nut milk at home. I know a lot of people are doing it already, but there's a lot of people out there that have never done it. And I just wanted to show how easy it is, and it's going to be the base of one of our next recipes. So you can go and stay and watch. There's going to be some fun happening. There's going to be fun happening no matter what. So then all I'm doing is squeezing my nut milk bag. This is a cashew almond milk.
So delightful.
So delightful. And I was also sharing that with cashews. See, the cashews, as I mentioned, you don't really need to do this part of the process. You don't mind a tiny bit of a texture at the bottom of your coffee cup, for example. I just blend the cashews and I don't strain them because they're so soft they blend right in. Same if you want to use hemp hearts. We talked about hemp hearts last week. Hemp seeds are really great source of omega-3 fats and protein and are just all around awesomeness. They blend up pretty smooth too, so you don't have to strain them either. So in the essence of time, I'm not going to go full on here, but it would just be a matter of straightening that out as much as possible. And keep your pulp, guys, just like we kept our pulp from our crackers last week, our juice last week to make crackers. You can save your pulp from your nut milk and make, I have a really yummy almond, ginger almond cracker, cookie cracker that I make in the dehydrator, which maybe we'll add to the dehydrator class that I'm going to be doing at some point soon. So yeah, save your pulp. You can, if you don't know what you're going to do with it right away, just put it in a Ziploc or in any sort of freezer container and put it in the freezer until you're ready to use it, and it'll be totally fine. You start to defrost it. You guys want to give it a little taste?
Thought you'd never ask.
Oh, look, I have 2 glasses. It's like I knew you were going to be here, Marley. I'm all you in, right? Yeah, rich, delish. It's so easy and creamy. So we're going to use this for our next recipe. And our next recipe is going to be a chia seed parfait. Chia seed pudding parfait. Are you guys chia seed pudding fans? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we always have a chia seed pudding on the buffet here at Rythmia. The most favorited one by the guests is coconut banana. Yeah, that's pretty safe to assume. I also sometimes do a mango coconut, sometimes a pineapple coconut. I used to do a mango turmeric. Today, I've made for you in advance a spirulina. Spirulina chia pudding. Yeah. Which you guys are going to try the finished product. I've also done a mango turmeric, as mentioned. Mostly because I wanted the colors. And what we're going to do in the final product here is have a little chia seed parfait. You see here, this is our 2 chia seeds layered with some local goat milk that we get from our neighbor's farm around Chihuahuas, and some organic strawberries and a little bit of granola on top. So that's where we're going. Do you guys want to try this while I'm doing this? You can have a little scoopy scoop. Thanks, Kelly. Oh, it's so pretty. It's actually just turmeric chia pudding in there. There's no mango. So it's not sweet. So just be forewarned about that one. So what we're going to do today is make a chia pudding. I'm going to do a really simple one. It's going to be a vanilla cardamom one. So there's not even going to be a blender involved or anything. Normally what I would do is I would take any sort of nut milk, like the one we just made, mix it with, blend it in my blender with any sort of fruit that I want to have for flavor and color, and then a couple of other ingredients, mix that with my chia seed, bada boom, bada bing. Today this is going to be a fruit-free one. It's going to be a relatively low sugar one for all those viewers out there that are on some sort of low sugar diet. And the other thing that I want to mention is the milk. I used to make it in bulk on the weekends and fill mason jars and put a couple mason jars in my freezer, leaving room for expansion. So I wouldn't fill my mason jar like this. These are actually the ones I used. I would only fill it to about this high. So there would be room for expansion, and I would store those in the freezer and one in the fridge. And then when the one in my fridge got low, I would take one out of my freezer, let it defrost, give it a quick whirl, and then I would have my milk for the week, so I wasn't having to make it fresh all the time. Marley's excusing herself. Thank you for coming.
We love you all. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. So now we're going to do this chia pudding really quick. Super easy. So in my bowl here, I've got a bowl. I'm not going to dirty any of the dishes. I'm going to pour about a cup of our nut milk. Ooh, it smells really yummy. I'm going to put in a tiny bit of, I'm going to use agave today because I have that in abundance. Like again, you can use any sort of sweetener you want, or you could omit it. You could omit it if you thought your milk was sweet enough. I mean, I think we're sweet enough.
Great job.
I'm gonna pinch in some maca, which is a root, a powder of a root from Peru that is stamina, an adaptogenic food. For me, I found it really helpful when I was, going through my transition in my life and getting over some traumatic times. Yeah, total hormonal balancer. Apparently, great for sex drive. I think in studies they discovered it's been especially good for male sex drive. So I always joke that stick it in your husband's smoothie. I never know. I mean, trick to it. Here's the trick. A little bit of cardamom, just a little pinch, tiny little pinch because it's super strong. And cardamom is a flavor that a lot of people don't think they like or don't know that they like, but I put it into a lot of stuff here at Rythmia, and people just don't know because they don't think they like cardamom, but it's got this certain little about it. And I'm going to add a touch more vanilla because this is a vanilla cardamom chia pudding. And that's all there is to the base here, and I'm just mixing that up. You could do this in the blender if you really wanted to, but why dirty the blender again? And then I'm going to add in some chia seeds. And we did talk about chia seeds a little bit last week, but I'm going to touch on it again. It is a good source of fiber, a great source of omega-3 fats, a good source of calcium and protein. I think about 3 tablespoons is like 9 grams of plant-based protein or something like that. And again, it is easily absorbable plant-based protein. You don't have to break down amino acids and all that stuff, which as difficult as it can be for certain other. But it's soaked is even better, and it's going to be soaked in the pudding. Dun, dun, dun. So I'm going to add in about 3 tablespoons to a cup of liquid. It's kind of the ratio I like. Again, just like the milk, you can adjust that. If you like a chia pudding that's pretty like tapioca-esque, because that's what chia seeds do when they come in contact with liquid, they bulk up kind of like tapioca. So if you've ever had bubble tea or tapioca pudding that texture. If you don't like that texture, probably not the dish for you. But what I've done for clients in the past that didn't think they like chia pudding is I've actually blended the whole thing. And it becomes a lot smoother. And if you use more chia to liquid, then it still has that thick pudding texture. So I'm just whisking this. Whisk. And then all you do is let it sit. And what I like to do is I like to let it sit overnight. I usually make my chia pudding the night before and let it sit so that it gets really thick. And if it's too thick in the morning, I just pour in a little bit more of my milk, top it with anything I want, and then I'm good to go. So that is the pudding. I'm going to set that aside. And, in essence of time, we don't need to make the parfait. I've already explained to you how we did it. But this was just an example. If you really piled that up, maybe we could make a strawberry chia pudding so it's red, and add in a little slice of beet. So you could blend strawberries with beet and your milk so you can really get a strong red color. We talked about that last week as well. The mango pudding, I always like to put in a little bit of turmeric because that gives that extra yellow color. And if you're layering all of that with your white, you can use cashew yogurt or any type of non-dairy yogurt or goat yogurt or any type of yogurt, Greek yogurt, layering that up. It's a really big wow piece. If you're having brunch, it looks like you, wow. It looks like you slaved for hours. You have this beautiful rainbow to serve all your guests. So that's why I wanted to just touch on that. Or for yourself, because why not celebrate yourself and make a beautiful parfait just for you? No, it doesn't take that long at all. And you could make like your 5 different chia seed puddings the night before, and then all you gotta do is assemble. And the chia seed pudding would keep in the fridge for a couple of days. So you could make a bunch on Sunday and be eating it through Wednesday, make it for Wednesday, and eating it through Friday and Saturday. So that is the chia seed pudding recipe. And I think that I do have a couple of chia recipes in my book, Miracle Meals, High Frequency Plant-Based Meals that I wrote for Rythmia. So that is available online, also available in our gift shop here. So the last thing that I'm going to do today, I have 2 more things actually I'm going to touch on. I just have to go down to my secret compartment here. Turmeric paste. So if you've been to Rythmia, you've probably maybe tried our golden milk. And this is a warm beverage. And it's beautiful. And I serve this in the mornings alongside coffee because too much caffeine and caffeinated beverages is not really great alongside the ayahuasca and the plant medicine that we offer here. So what I've done is I made this as an alternative. And I use it coconut milk base, and then it's just a variety of spice and seasonings to make it really rich and delicious. It's also anti-inflammatory, it's immune boosting, it's comforting, it's cozy, and it's tasty. So I make it fresh every morning, or my kitchen and myself do. And what we do is we just, in the blender, we put in, a bit of coconut milk. I should tell you the recipe. I'm gonna post it afterwards, but it's coconut milk. We use turmeric, cinnamon, cardamom, a little bit of raw honey, and black pepper and ginger, and a pinch of cayenne. That's the recipe we do here. And we make it fresh every morning, but not everyone's gonna wanna do that because we're always rushing in the morning, right? So another thing that you can do is make a golden milk paste, which is what I've done here. Now, if you look really, you can see that. It's like the texture of peanut butter. At the top here, you can see that there's been it's coconut oil on the top there that is separated a little bit. And what this is a lot of turmeric powder that I put down on the stove with water, about 1.5 cups of water to 1/2 cup of turmeric. I've cooked that down and let it reduce until it's become a bit of a pasty texture. Then I stirred in my cardamom. I stirred in some fresh grated ginger, some cinnamon, a pinch of black pepper, and that's it. And then what I did, once that was all well combined, and I simmered it down a little bit more, I added in about 1/2 cup of coconut oil. This is not the whole recipe, this is just a portion of it. And now what I have here is the base of my golden milk. So what I can do in the morning, tomorrow morning, is grab my blender, or just grab a little pot, or just grab some boiling water, take a little teaspoon of this, put it into my coffee cup, stir this with hot water, and then add anything else I want in there. If I want to add sweetener, if I want to add a dash of coconut milk or a dash of the almond cashew milk, then I can treat it kind of like any sort of instant coffee or instant tea, and then you just keep this in the fridge so it's always ready to take it to work. You can totally take it to work. Like what you can do is take your to-go cup, just put a spoonful of that in there, and not anything else. When you get to work, just put your hot water, add hot water, keep almond milk in there or whatever. It's easy. No excuses, right? It's easy. And it's just about spending a couple of hours a week in prepping. So this is a turmeric paste. I will also link a recipe for this as well. I don't really have a recipe because I just did it in my head, but I'll write down what I did, and you guys can test it and let me know how it works. So the last thing I'm going to do is just touch on one last little hack. And this is a breakfast hack that I swore by when I was still living in Toronto, still working in the media. For those of you who don't know, I used to be a television professional. I was a television director for my last stint in the city, and worked all major television stations, crazy hours, double shifts. I was a freelancer. Sometimes I would work 5 in the morning till 1, and then slip off to another station to work 2 till midnight. It was beautiful, fun time, let me tell you. But I was super busy, and I was always trying to eat healthy. So one of the things I always did on Sundays, again, on my meal on Sunday, was I prepared smoothie bags. So what I would do is I would grab 7 reusable, strong Ziploc bags. I would get really good quality Ziploc bags. And I would go and prep all my smoothie ingredients for the week. I would make 7 smoothie bags. So today what we've got here is a pretty fruity smoothie. We've got kale, banana, papaya, pineapple, some strawberry, and some vanilla protein powder. I need a little bit of protein all the time with my food, or else I go like skyrocket on the sugar high. And this is me pretty calm right now. So what I would do is I would just dump all of this stuff into my freezer bag, toss them all into my freezer, and then every morning before I leave the house, if I'm not having my chia pudding and I'm in a hurry and I want to take my smoothie to go, I'll just dump all of this stuff into the base, the jug of my smoothie maker, aka butter. and then I would just pour in my milk on top of the smoothie ingredients. That's in there, dump that in there, and then blend it, and you're good to go. The biggest time waster when it comes to making smoothies is doing this. I need some of this, and I need my cinnamon from over here, and then I need to go to my freezer and get my fruits from over there, and that's a big pain, and it takes forever. It can take 10 minutes to get a darn smoothie together. I've witnessed it. I've worked in private homes with private clients, and they would make smoothies, and I'd be trying to start on lunch prep, and they would be literally taking 40 minutes to get all the ingredients for their smoothies. It's crazy. So just taking that, take 30 minutes on Sunday and have all of your ingredients, wash your fruit, chop them up, and bag them, and then you're good for the week. So those are my hacks for breakfast. I hope that you guys have learned something. Is there any questions that have come up, Kenneth, that you see? Did you see any questions come up that I should answer? Okay, I'll answer them after if there is any, then I'm going to hop on here after I'm done cleaning up here and answer. If there's anything you want to see maybe in the next coming weeks, I would love for you let me know. Next week, I think I'm going to be talking about local Costa Rican ingredients. So probably a lot of stuff that you've maybe seen in the international produce aisle at your local grocer, but perhaps you have no idea how to cook and prepare. I'm going to talk about a lot of that. We're going to talk about some amazing fruits from Costa Rica, stuff that you could maybe try when you come visit us at Rythmia, stuff that we grow on the land, stuff that's super medicinal, things that you probably have seen at health food stores and weren't sure what they are, that we actually grow here in Costa Rica, and now big, like, people have started packaging up because it's so amazing for you. We're going to talk about that, and I think the week after that we're going to be doing some lunch hacks, some easy meal prep, plant-based, high-frequency lunch hacks. So that's what we've got on the agenda. Any questions from the peanut gallery over there, Candace?
I think it's brilliant. Just to give people the opportunity to, make it easy.
Yeah, and that's the key. It's got to make it easy.
People, I was just speaking to Luke from Shrewsbury, and he was saying he wants to be healthier, but he just doesn't have the time. So he said he goes to lying to himself because he could do the prep. So preparing to succeed.
That's the story. We don't have the time. We don't have the time. We have the time. We all have the time. What is the saying? Or there was like an Instagram meme. Is that how you say it? Meme? I never said that word before. Like, you have the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce does, like what she does. And I'm like, it's true. We all have the same amount of hours in the day, so we can make it work. So, what are we at here? 28. Okay, sorry guys, I told you it was only 15 or 20 minutes. But we had a couple of pauses in the video, and I think that we're under 30, so I hope that you guys have learned a little bit. And I'm super, super excited to be able to share this stuff with you. I'm super excited for Candace to be here and Kenneth to be here and helping me behind the scenes. And we will see you this time next week. Again, do not forget to join Dr. Jeff tomorrow night. I think it's 7 p.m. most people's time in the U.S. I'm so bad with the time differences. Anyways, the information's all on the Facebook, Rythmia Facebook events page. And then I think starting in a week or two, Nicole's going to be doing some Facebook Lives. So stay tuned for that, as well as Brandy, Jerry's Brandy will be doing one as well. I think it's going to be on Wednesday, so stay tuned. And we're super, super excited to have you here. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to ask Kenneth to hit stop, and we will see you next week. Mwah. Ciao.